Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome into the channel and to our tribe. This is Divine Truth Tarot. I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader today. So I took yesterday off. I was doing some 3D activities, in case you guys were wondering. Very exciting. Lots of errands. I went to the Fresh Farmers Market and I have started a raw vegan. I don't like the word diet at all. That is very restrictive. I don't think anyone loves that word. So it's a raw vegan lifestyle, and I'd like to do this. You know, raw vegan doesn't have to be 100% raw. It's like 70% raw. So I'm cool with that. And so far, so good. It's lots of smoothies, lots of fresh greens, a lot of greens. Like my whole cart was greens and juices. And I just realized that it's about time that I really practice self-care. This year has been really challenging for most of us to practice self-care. And for me, that looks like eating healthier because even though I'm vegan and plant-based, you can easily be a junk food vegan. And I know vegans are going to be like, no way. You can. And I have been it for a while. So today I have my green smoothie, and yeah, just wanted to share that little snippet with you guys. I know you enjoy hearing about what's going on in my life, and that's what I was doing yesterday. I was going grocery shopping, preparing, and then today I'm back with some videos. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to start off the reading with the Sacred Self-Care deck from our lovely sister Lucy. So let us go ahead and just have a gander here and see what's going on. If you guys are joining us in the live chat, let me know how you're doing. A few videos for you guys today leading up to the end of 2020. By Friday, we will be in a new year, a new cycle. Yesterday, we had the Cancer full moon, and I sense a lot of you were probably in some form of hibernation. Okay, that Cancer full moon is no joke. The Cancer full moon, Cancer is labeled the most emotional sign of the zodiac. I have a rising in Cancer. So the Cancer sign is very much about, interesting, we've got health checkup again, feminines. Interesting, we had that the other day. So health checkup. So who here needs to go for a health checkup? Who here needs to tend to their health? I feel like, you know, Cancer energy is nurturing. It's a mother energy. It's about the energy of the home. It's making a house a home. And it's also just very loving. You know, the Cancer in the workplace is the person who's always making sure everyone else is okay, baking cookies, bringing them in, that sort of thing. So it's sort of the mother of the workplace. And if you're not if you're a Cancer out there, Cancer sun, rising moon, North Node, if you don't have children, then you love children, they love you, and you likely you just want to nurture pets and animals and people and everyone around you. So it's a very beautiful energy, but it can also be very emotional. Okay, we can really take us to those depths, those mother wounds that are unhealed. It can take us to the depths of sadness and grief. And so just be mindful if you're still swimming in those deeper waters today. Just be really good to yourself, guys. Really watch what you eat, watch what you consume. You know, what we consume, it's not just food. It's also TV. It's also movies, okay? It's also people. So just watch what you're consuming, period, is what I'm hearing. We have pleasure. So yeah, there's a need, speaks for itself. There's a need for more pleasure. And I feel like this is definitely connected to the sacral chakra. We've been talking a lot about that sacral chakra. It's how you allow in pleasure. It's also the place of your creativity. But, you know, pleasure and creativity are intricately linked, and we don't often see that. Let's get a card now for the masculine energy. Masculine energy, plan a vacation. Yeah, I feel like the masculine energy has felt very stagnant this year. And the masculine energy in all of us is like, I want to go somewhere. I'm tired of staying in one place. See if there's another card for the masculine energy. Meditate. Right. do feel a lot of masculines have started meditating this year. And if they haven't started meditating, they're doing some form of like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, something to where they're, they've been, it's not asked, it's been necessitated that everybody slow down this year. So I do feel like the masculines who in the past may have gone to the gym or, like I've said before, a lot of masculines were constantly on the go and they didn't take time to actually be with themselves, get to know themselves, even ask themselves, what do you want? Does this make you happy? They just went along with what everybody else in their life wanted for them or suggested for them. They didn't actually speak their mind. There was a little bit of a lack of backbone for our masculine energy for a long time. And it had to do with people pleasing, and it does relate to codependency. And so I think all of us can relate to that because, as I've always said, the energy lives inside all of us, not just who you associate with the actual physical masculine. And this energy was such that you were devaluing yourself at the expense of making other people around you satisfied or happy or content. That's why you saw so many masculines in these unhappy home situations. I do feel like with this Cancer full moon that those masculines, or the masculine energy inside of us, if you found yourself in an unhappy domestic situation, do feel like that's going to be turning things on its head. I just heard, they literally showed me turning things on its head, turning things upside down to where they're no longer going to be able to be in that energy of, to where the masculines are no longer going to be able to be in that energy of doing for others and forsaking yourself, okay? It's just not going to be allowed anymore. It's not going to be acceptable. We have spiritual strength, okay? We also have emotional loss. So we've got 9 of Wands, spiritual strength. This is about staying the course. This is about honoring the path and the course that you're on, and I would say, mystical studies that have been undergone this year, the transformations that have occurred within our minds and our souls this year, because we've had no other choice but to have these transformations. There's literally been no other choice. You either set sail on this journey or you got left behind. That's pretty much the theme of 2020. So we have to remember that our masculines are us. And so if we went on this journey and we went into the depths of our emotions and the depths of our soul and we sought truth and we sought answers, the masculines were doing the same thing. So flexing the spiritual muscle is how I see this. Being able to really, this is about the masculine also. This is quite beautiful. This is about the masculine energy defending their spirituality, defending their newfound beliefs, and therefore defending the feminine and defending the connection. Even if it's in a roundabout way and they don't know they're doing it, that's exactly what they're doing. We have the World card, completion. So with this newfound spiritual strength and muscle, the masculines have completed or are completing a cycle. Because the old cycle was one that they may have even laughed at you. I got laughed at several times when I talked about the collective, when I talked about tarot card readings that I was doing. I got laughed at when I talked about many things. And it hurt because, ultimately it's you talking to you. So I was in essence laughing at myself. I was hurting myself. I wasn't believing in myself. So that's why this is so crucial for us to go, where is it that I'm not believing in myself? Where is it that I am forsaking myself? Where is it that I could have more faith within myself? And that's what I think is really, really crucial here, is where is it that I can love myself more? That's why myself and other good readers and healers say it's not about the physical person. I know it looks like it. I know it feels like it. I know it's maddening. It's exhausting. It's infuriating. I know it's frustrating as hell, but it's all within. We have to remember that it's all within us. And when we forget, we go into this place of 5 of Cups energy, where it's like we're crying over yesterday. We're crying over the past. If you guys have ever studied Ram Dass or Eckhart Tolle, or I know some people say Tolle, Eckhart Tolle, any of the masters, right? Gandhi, Buddha, right? The Dalai Lama, any of these masters, and there are many more, will tell you, those are just some of the few that I've studied, okay? There are many, many more that I didn't acknowledge, will tell you that, or will teach rather, or preach that the root of unhappiness is living in the past, okay? Especially Buddhists. And this is not at all, I don't identify as Buddhist, by the way. I don't identify as any one spirituality or religion. I identify as multi-dimensional in terms of spirituality. I like to take pieces from a little bit of everything that I encounter, and I stay open. So I'm open to new ideas. And that's what it's an ever evolving spirituality for me, just in case anyone was wondering. I'm not sitting here trying to preach Buddhism. So if that's not your thing, no worries. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't on the table. Easy as that. So I just want to introduce this concept, or reinforce this concept for some of you that are very familiar with it, that our emotional balance and stability lies in our ability to be present. This is very much a card of crying over spilled milk, living in the past, okay, grieving the past, not being able to see what's right in front of you. Remember, if you see on a traditional deck, you'll see it's usually the 3 cups that are broken and spilled, and that's all this person can see, and what they're not seeing is the 2 cups in front of them. We see this shell here, the circle of manifestation. To me, that represents manifestation. You can't see that you could manifest so much out of those 2 cups that are left because you're so stuck on the 3 cups. And I've done this. I know you guys have done this. We've all done this, where we stay stuck in that energy of what happened in the past. And that really does keep you repeating cycles. And these cycles are wanting to end. This is also Spirit's telling me now, this is not just a cycle for the masculines, this is a cycle for the connection. As you both grow stronger spiritually, there's a new cycle being birthed and brewing within this connection, but it requires a letting go of the old. So you let go of past versions of yourself and past versions of your counterpart, and therefore you let go past versions of the connection. That seems scary to the ego at first, because when you're letting go of the connection, you're letting go of that person, what you feel like is happening is that you're letting them go forever. And the ego is going to feel like it's dying. The ego will scream, the ego will throw a fit, the ego will go, no, 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 don't do this, you can't do this. This is the end, oh my God, it's the end, it's the end, it's the end, it's never coming back. And that's the energy of the 5 of Cups. It's never coming back, it's over. And what you can't see is that your own heart, within your own soul, you've already created the story. It's already been laid out for you before you even incarnated into this time frame and this timeline. So there are so many options and possibilities available to you, but you have to open up your eyes. You have to be willing to look deeper, and you have to be willing to let these old cycles go. Those of you who did walk away earlier this year, part of the reason for that was so you could end an old cycle. I know you felt it because I felt it strongly. There was no other option but to end that old cycle. So I feel like what this is saying, guys, is actually a message of hope. Do not dwell in the past, especially as we reach the end of the year here. Do whatever you can to really levitate your energy, right? Meditate to levitate was always my slogan. I wanted to make a shirt out of that, so don't anybody steal that. I'm going to trademark that. Meditate to levitate, right? Levitate your consciousness, levitate, free your mind, lighten the load. And I feel like the best thing we could do leading up here to New Year's Eve, okay, to the end of the year. It's not really the end of the Mayan calendar, it's the end of the year though. We call it the new year. It's not really, the new year really starts in I think April or May, something like that. But anyway, we celebrate it, we call it the new year. Your ego recognizes it as the new year. We need this, right? We all need this. The whole world needs this fresh start and the ending of a cycle. But what I want to say about that is do what your soul is calling you toward. Mine is calling me towards eating cleaner. I was going to start this cleanse, so to speak, January 1st or the beginning of the year. And there's always a reason to put it off. Well, I wanted to make these cinnamon rolls. Well, true story. Well, I wanted to make these pumpkin cookies. Fine, I can do that at some other point in time. And they're healthy, by the way. They're healthy cookies. They're not full of refined sugar. They have actually no refined sugar. But it's still the concept that my body was telling me it needed raw food right now. It needed fuel. It needed me to stop eating the junk, eating the processed food and the chips and all of these things. So listen to your body. Is it time to go out in nature for a walk? or hike? Is it time to be near a body of water? Is it time to meditate? Is it time for pleasure? What brings you pleasure? Doesn't have to just be sexual pleasure. What makes you feel creative? Is it time for you to drink more water and hydrate? Maybe start your day with lemon water. 2 cups of lemon water in the morning is the best thing you can do for your body to rehydrate, for your liver, and to alkalize your body, because it gets acidic at night, by the way. So whatever it is for you, maybe it's signing up for a gym. Maybe it's going to the yoga studio. You haven't been all year, you're going to go. Maybe that's how you're going to ring in the new year. Maybe it's just being around friends and family. But you notice how these things require you to be in the present moment. You have to be present for all of these things. I had to be present yesterday for shopping. I had to make a list. I had to have a food plan, a meal plan, and then I had to go and prepare it. I had to soak the cashews. I had to do all these things. So what is it that's going to allow you to really be rooted in the physical? Because guys, we have this energy of the Ace of Pentacles. This is very much the energy of abundance in the physical world. This is very much about the feminine energy really coming into her own or his own in the physical world. The masculines have been journeying in the physical world for quite some time, but I'm telling you guys, they are definitely in the energy of their feels, their emotions, and their spirituality at this time. They're questioning everything as the year ends. And a lot of them are not in the same place they were. Most of them are not in the same place they were at the beginning of this year, and that's good. So their eyes have been opened, their hearts are being opened now. It's not enough to have your eyes open on this journey. Your heart has to open as well. So anything you can do, feminine, to really give yourself pleasure, to really give yourself self-care, to really honor yourself. Okay, whatever that's going to be, where you feel like I am honoring myself, I'm taking care of myself, and root it into the physical. So Ace of Wands is a new beginning. It's a prosperous new beginning. The seeds have been planted. It's working together, and it's growing that fruit. It's bearing fruit. And then we have the 9 of Cups. So this is definitely a wish being fulfilled. This can sometimes indicate laziness. For some decks, it indicates laziness because it's talking about sort of sitting on your laurels, like sitting on your hunches and just waiting for things to come to you, because you feel very lucky. You feel as though the universe is on your side. So be mindful of the potential laziness here as we go into the new year, because many people might feel like it's been a hell of a year in 2020. I just want to relax in 2021, but 2021, guys, is full speed ahead. It is absolutely full speed ahead. There's going to be no sitting. There's going to be no sitting back. There's going to be no, I'm not saying there won't be time for relaxing, but those of us who are here on a mission, that mission has been highlighted in 2020, and it's time to take the action in 2021. Okay, so yes, your wishes can come true. Yes, we are birthing a new earth. We are here to create. We are here to absolutely bring into perspective this new way. It's really going back to the old way, the golden age, but we're bringing it back. But it requires time, energy, effort, devotion, dedication, loyalty. Spirit, tell me what's coming up with the unions. Once both of you, there's that throat chakra again. Once both of you have really healed that solar plexus imbalance of unworthiness, this is the Ace of Cups. So interesting, we have 2 aces here and we're approaching the new year. So I really love how the reading is reflecting that it's the ending of a year, it's the ending of a cycle, it's the beginning of a new one. The Ace of Cups. Love begins, the beginning. This is going back to the beginning is what Spirit is telling me. It's going back to, remember in the beginning where you didn't have the fears and the doubts and you were just so enraptured with each other. You were so absolutely in love. You guys, your eyes were glazing over with giddiness and joy, and you felt like a teenager again, and you could talk on the phone for hours, and there was no hiding anything. There was no pretending. You were just being honest with each other. It was before the trigger started, before the ego started to flare, before all of the unhealed wounds on both of your parts, on both of your sides, crept in, became insidious, and started to really threaten the transparency and authenticity of the connection. That's why separation really happens. Okay, things ripple to the surface, and all of a sudden you've got these bubbles coming up, and the bubbles contain old wounds, unhealed parts of yourself. They contain the triggers, they contain the fears, and that causes one or both of you to run, like literally hightail it in the other direction. Neither of you felt worthy of this connection. Even if you were the one, you weren't the one that ran, you were the one that quote unquote stayed or you chased. Chasing is still an energy of not feeling worthy. If you feel worthy, you just are. You just are. You feel worthy, you don't have to do anything, be anything, say anything. You definitely don't have to chase anything. You don't have to chase after anything. You just trust that what you want or what you deserve will just find its way to you. And you trust. And so this is the beginning. This is the starting over card. We're starting over. This is love, but it's not a new person. It's the same person for many of you. For some of you, it might be a new person. Some of you are going the soulmate route. Not many of my followers, but yes, that's acceptable. You know, some of you have a soulmate to learn from. So you will be going the soulmate route, and you will be giving your twin and yourself both a chance to heal, a chance to disconnect from the matrix. Okay, a chance to heal the fears, heal the triggers, and you will be coming back together. And that soulmate could easily be a soulmate of your twin as well. So soul teachers may come in for a portion of you, although I'm feeling it's more like 25%. The majority of us are choosing, our soul has chosen. I've had a ton of soul teachers, a ton. And I know that there are no more soul teachers for me. If I wanted to, there's the option of a very high-level soulmate, and that person's sort of waiting in limbo, and that person's waiting on me. So the option is there. But it's really, at this point, a decision to be made. Kitty cat duty. It's inevitable that when I do a reading and I close the door to this room, there's a cat that wants out. Okay. So for me, that's my story, and I feel that person, but I feel my twin a lot stronger. So that person's sort of like, I'm here if you need me, if you call on me. Mary Magdalene, the teacher awakens. So Mary Magdalene, okay, twin flame of Jesus, you have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. So let's talk about this for a minute, guys. You are both teachers to each other. And interestingly enough, we just talked really about teachers, okay? We just talked about how there may be soul teachers. So how does this pertain to your connection? How does this pertain to, like, think back on the soul teachers that you have had prior to meeting your twin, or some of you met your twin a while back. You've had soul teacher. You may have even married a soul teacher. So how has that played out for you and your connection? Are you allowing yourself to be taught, is what I'm hearing. Are you allowing yourself? Mary, we don't have a lot of information on Mary. We have a lot of information on Jesus, but Mary was clairvoyant. Mary could see things. Mary was very gifted and very special. And so she had this ability that even when Jesus passed away, she could see his soul. It was said that she could see his soul. And she had this ability to really bring such change to people's lives. She could stand in front of a crowd and she could speak, and people's lives would be changed for the better. So I like that this is coming up in a time when we are really experiencing radical changes on the earth. And this is very much a rebellious energy. we see the red there, which to me, yes, it could indicate root chakra. To me, it indicates fire. It's like the fire energy, that root energy, the energy that connects us to this life on earth. Many feminines are feeling more and more connected, whether you like it or not at this point in time, to your life on earth. And many of you are feeling very grounded and even feel like some of your spiritual gifts, or like your clairvoyancy, clairaudiency, clairsentiency, claircognizance, I can't talk, has been muted or temporarily turned off. And there's a reason for that. Your masculine is actually ascending. So when you feel that your masculine is ascending spiritually, okay, we know this, guys. We know this intuitively. Trust it. And you are being grounded into the earth. So you guys are sort of flip-flopping roles, as I said yesterday or the day before. So sharing what you've learned and trusting that you won't be ridiculed, trusting that the right people, the right students will find you. That's about that's again, solar plexus energy. That's about self-worth and confidence, self-confidence. Who else is walking with the twins right now? Who's that? Sacred vision, the Miriam, the twins. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries, unconditional love. This is absolutely speaking of the twins. The teacher awakens. Your masculine has awakened. You have awakened the teacher within them. I feel like the masculines, a lot of our masculines are actually prophets. I said it. A lot of our masculines are prophets, and a lot of our masculines they're walking around and they're holding all of this wisdom, this ancient wisdom inside of them, and they're not even really completely on board or completely understand how powerful they are. So it's like they feel it, they sense it, but it has yet to fully awaken, but it's starting to awaken. It's absolutely starting to awaken. They've seen themselves in you, feminine. They have, whether they admit it or not, whether they made fun of the concept of twin flames or not, they know it, they feel it. It doesn't matter if they admit it, if their ego is admitting it, they feel it on a soul level. I really feel like this group of masculines that I'm channeling into right here is awakening. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? Mother healing possible at this time. I felt this with the full moon in Cancer energy, so I'm not surprised to see mother energy come up in the reading here. Both twins given the opportunity to focus on healing any remaining or residual mother wounds. We also have Sisterhood of the Rose. Some of you may be members of the Sisterhood of the Rose. Beauty and devotion, priestess. This is high priestess. This is the mystic. Okay, this is the card of, I'm going to look at the book for this, but this is the card of, yeah, I mean, I just called the masculines a prophet, and here we have, you know, the sister, the feminine energy for the feminines. I mean, this is all about high priestess and prophet. I mean, what a beautiful pair. Let's see what the book says about this. The Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devoted their lives to serving humanity and seeding light consciousness all over the earth. A cross-section of ancient lineages, it is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty wherever you go. The rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You are being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. Spend more time in nature. Mother Earth is constantly whispering. Spend time admiring her creations and you will be rewarded with insight and grace. So this is definitely about the feminines really being in the energy of nature. I've been talking about that for a while. That's been coming up in readings for a while. Nature, pets, and animals. And again, seeding the energy, seeding the light into the 3D world. That's exactly where the feminines are at right now on their mission work, while the masculines rise and ascend in the spiritual realm at last. Card for the masculine energy, please. Remember to regard these energies as your inner energies as well, please. Your inner masculine energy, your inner feminine. Masculine energy, being asked to answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So this is definitely about inspired action. And then the masculines have gotten this several times. Unbound. They are continuing to work on releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. The masculines are continuing. I told you guys they're ascending. I feel it very strongly. They're continuing to work on really letting go of the past. And I feel like they have to completely let go. I'll share a little something with you guys. In my connection, I know for certain, because I feel it, that my masculine has to completely let go of the cycle he was in order for us to come back into contact. In order for us to be able to come into reunion, there needs to be a severing of the old cycle and a letting go of the people that are included in that cycle. And that's just the contract that we made before we incarnated. And that's the boundary that I set as well. And so when you set those boundaries, your masculines will heed them because their soul is heeding the contract. Their soul is paying attention to that and saying, okay, if I haven't done this yet, if my human self isn't able to do this yet, I can't come forward. It's like they're literally kept from you until they can come forward and release that cycle. This is all about, the Unbound card is all about releasing old stories, old patterns, old programming, masculines. And it's like that broken record that's been playing over and over and over in many, many lifetimes. The masculines have been shackled. They haven't been free. They've been here. They've been enslaved and enchained in the 3D world. They've been slaves to the 3D world. And I don't like that word at all. I actually despise that word, but that's what they're telling me. That's what spirit and my guides are telling me. And that's what it's felt like for the masculine energy, just enslaved to the 3D world and feeling like they have no out. There is no freedom. So they're being asked to take a look at patterns in their life and what are they ready to release? They're really, really doing the work right now. You have to trust this. Any ancient vows or contracts that have not been for their highest good or that have had an expiration date have to go. This also talks about a vow of silence, a vow of poverty, a vow of, just like living in fear, like a vow of I'm going to be miserable. The vow of, making everyone around me happy, the vow of codependency. All of those things are being released. The vow of being chained up and tied to 3D material world and wealth, that's also being healed. All of their old ways are literally being purged right now. Could be a very heavy healing cycle for this group of masculines. So let's say there was a fear for the masculines, a fear of speaking their truth, okay, which is a big one. Fear of speaking their truth to the people in their lives. Let's say that they had that. It was a fear of speaking their truth. How would that play out? It would have kept them safe, quote unquote safe, okay? It was keeping them safe, but they couldn't grow. So let me explain something, guys. The reason why these masculines, this is good stuff. You might want to get out a piece of paper, seriously. The reason why these masculines have not, just lost my train of thought. Hold on. Okay, got it. The reason why a lot of these masculines may have gone back or it looked like they went backwards, like your connection went backwards and they went back to a karmic partner, whatever that karmic partner, an addiction, a mother, it could have been a sibling, it could have been a friend, it could have been work, okay, workaholic, it could have been a karmic partner, an actual person, whatever. If they went back to that person, which was the case for me, it was extremely painful, it was brutal. It was absolutely emotionally brutal for me at the time. What happens is when the twins meet, you ignite a spark within each other, a soul spark, okay? A recognition of yourself, a recognition of your own soul. And you open up wounds and doors and portals that you may not have been ready, that your human self was like, I am not ready to address those things, okay? So what is happening is when they go back to that karmic situation, that karmic person or situation or experience in their lives or that old programming, they are trying to play it safe. Their ego has taken control when they're silent, when they ghost you, when they run, okay, when they recommit back to a marriage that's falling apart. They're trying to control things, because they can't control their feelings for you. They're trying to shut the connection out. They're trying to forget about you, which is impossible. And some of you might have felt that, like myself. They're literally trying to forget the feminine, and they're trying to forget the whole entire experience because it opened them up to the possibility that they could actually be happy, that they could actually be worthy of happiness, worthy of love, worthy of true devotion and loyalty and commitment. And it scared the hell out of their ego because their ego is trying to keep them safe. That's the job of the ego. So these old programs that they've been bound to have kept them quote unquote safe, but it's kept them spinning cycles. It's kept them living in Groundhog Day. It's kept them absolutely impoverished in terms of the masculines were emotionally impoverished. Where they may have been wealthy otherwise, they were emotionally impoverished in these situations. I cannot stress that enough, guys. The masculines are not gaining any love or affection or even devotion from these connections. They are literally dead in the water. There is no juice left in these connections. The masculines have to rise up out of these situations, and they have to break free from these contracts. So this is big, 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 big stuff right now. Big stuff. As Julia Roberts said in Pretty Woman, big mistake, huge mistake. But it's not a mistake, masculines, but it's time to release yourself from the things that do not bring you joy. It's time, okay? And I think a lot of masculines are going to absolutely embrace this once they're able to literally like unshackle themselves. They're going to, it's like they're going to, it's taken a long time for them to unshackle themselves, but once they do, they're going to go literally hightailing it for the feminine. So this is exciting. This is really exciting. Now, I asked for a card and I got 4, and I asked for union energy. So I got 4. So I'm going to take them all. Pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. You don't have to seek outside of yourselves. You contain your own rainbow. You contain the answers within you. So yes, a vibration. For the vibration of both twins is rising, rising, rising. Okay. It's continuing to rise. It's continuing to light up the world. Nothing can stop these connections now. Nothing can stop what's coming is what I'm hearing. The universe wants you both to leap. And look, this is like you and you. It's like the feminine, masculine, masculine, feminine. It's you and you. So when you leap, they will leap. Don't wait for them to go first. Leap, feminine. Where is it that you need to leap? Where is it that you need to unbound? Where is it that you need to answer the call or leave behind or be more devoted to the light? Where is it that you need to leave something or something behind? Where is it that you need to have the courage to just take the leap of faith? Because you do it and the other you, your masculine, will do it as well. I promise you that's how this works. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported. In other words, if you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you do? If you knew failure wasn't even a possibility, because there is no such thing as failure, this is just learning, or it's a learning school, it's a jungle, what would you do? How would you do things differently is what I'm also hearing. How would you do things differently? So this is about realizing that you can't fail, you can't mess up on this journey. And that makes it more exciting because then you realize it's not a game, okay? But it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's something you can have fun with, you can play with, you can be creative with. You don't have to be so stern, so rigid. There are no rules, guys. There are no steps or stages. There are no rules. This is you and you. How could you abide by a stage or a rule that someone else has set because they experienced that on their journey? That's why I try to be really careful not to highlight stages. If you're in separation, you don't have to be in separation. I know you're like, what? Well, how do I get out of separation? That's why we talk about it. That's why I encourage you guys to continue growing, to continue evolving, to be in the present moment, to focus on you, because it is you observing you. It is you speaking or communicating to you. It's your own soul. It is so crazy to think about, but that is the spiritual truth of these connections. And lastly, we have warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? Look at this. In the union energy and in the masculine energy, answer the call. So both twins are being asked to answer the call. Become that warrior. Take that leap of faith. Know that you are a pillar of light. Your vibration is constantly rising. You're seeding the light. You are the oracle. If you guys have ever visited Greece, or if you are Greek, I know I have some Greek followers on here. if you've ever been to the Temple of Delphi, the Temple of Delphi is an oracle, right? And it is said that you ask for what it is that you desire. Okay, you basically place your desire there, and it is said that the oracle, the all-knowing oracle, will deliver it to you in the way in which it believes or perceives it's best for you. That's the way that I understand Delphi. It's an absolutely gorgeous place. I visited in 2008, and I can't remember what wish I had. I'm sure it was a wish about love, because I was a lovesick puppy back in those days. Love was everything. I was chasing men. I was chasing love. I was chasing relationships. And I was actually just chasing my own shadow. What I didn't realize was I had to go within and do the work. And I would have many, many more painful experiences before I woke up. Many, many, many. After that. That was only the beginning. I was 28. That was only the beginning. I had many more through my 30s, painful experiences. And then I met my masculine when I was 39, right before I turned 40. And it was the promise of something different, the promise of a real, true love. And then when that was ripped away, when I thought I had gone through a dark night of the soul before, no way. Nothing compared to that pain. Nothing compared to that grief. Nothing compared to that devastation of feeling like you lost the love of your life after you found him after almost 40 years of searching, and then you lose him. And I know you guys can relate to that feeling. Like, it's like a lump in my throat as I talk about it. It's painful. It's painful to think that or feel that. And that was before I really understood the journey. And even now when I understand the journey, it can still bring up emotion and pain. There's still healing work to be done. There's still pain to be healed. Okay? The thought of losing this person that some of you are younger, some of you are older. I know I have followers in their 20s. I've read for people in their 20s and people in their 60s or 70s, 80s and beyond. So we're all waking up together. And physical age doesn't really matter. What matters is that we answer the call of our soul and that we know that we're in this together. I don't ever want you guys to feel alone. That's really the goal of this page, is never to feel alone, to always feel supported. I send you guys so much love and so much light. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please give it a like, a share, subscribe. Please comment. All of these things really help the channel to grow, and it helps others to be able to find this video to assist them in their journey of ascension. Have a beautiful day, guys. I'll see you so soon. Take great care until then.